Hello and welcome, everyone. This is week 6 of the Collegiate Chess League. My name is Joe, and I'm joined by the lovely, beautiful, amazing, handsome, Smoothly, also known as Zach. And we're covering the Division 1 of the Collegiate Chess League, brought to you by Susquehanna. This is the two remaining undefeated teams in the Collegiate Chess League, Mizzou and SLU. Let's dive right in. The games have started.
They started like before the time was even to go. They were in here and ready to actually rock. And right now we are seeing a completely even board right now. It's almost like these guys know what they're doing. It's a little bit unfortunate we didn't have Division Zero around to be able to play because obviously they would be a little bit better. We'd have our obvious Alpha Zero versus Stockfish, but this is a nice close second. It's really shocking just taking a moment to like sit back and realize that I'm watching a player that has a rating on chess.com of 3,000. Especially given the fact that, of course, I brag to people that I've hit 2K. Like, it's crazy to watch these people just absolutely run the board. And like, they're fighting for like point 0.1, point 0.2 on the evaluation at any given time. We're at point 0.2 right now, according to the eval. And now it's slightly better for black. That was not a move that the computer liked very much. Yep, I'm watching Antipov. And a great reactionary. He will make a facial expression if he sees something he doesn't know. Is this the first time they're playing? Joe is muted. I wouldn't have it literally any other way. Perfect. Welcome in, Bach. Nice to have you here. Welcome in, Melk. Welcome in, Verona. I owe you 10 push-ups. I know. Thank you for the tier 3. Unbelievable. We're getting real close to the plus goal, and it's right at the end of the month, so that's very appreciated. Also, hello, Fluffy. Maybe Joe is muted on
No,
purpose.
I'm back. Um,
Can we hear Joe now?
but yeah, my commentary really is not that important, but I was saying that Antipov is a huge part of the defending championship team from Mizzou who took down SLU in the finals last season. So this is their first rematch since the fall.
Huh. So they're coming in and they're like they have something to prove today. Um, Especially because again, these are the two undefeated teams right now. These are the only two teams that have not lost a match, I believe, right?
Yes, so far in the regular season.
So one
And
of these teams is going to be going home with the unbroken title still, and the other one is going to know.
exactly. One of these two teams will be victorious. We do not have ties in the Collegiate Chess League, only victories or defeats.
That
And
being said, I think that these teams would do a lot better if they worked together. I mean, can you imagine how many more points they could score if they all worked as a team?
well, they are both from Missouri, but unfortunately, they are two distinct schools and two distinct teams. So they are absolute rivals over the chessboard. And so they do not want to work together. They want to have a victory at all cost here.
Listen, I understand the rationale. I'm just saying it might be nice to have some friendship and togetherness in every once in a while. They are absolutely going for the throat. For the last 10 moves now, Black has maintained a 1 point material or like evaluation advantage, which is actually saying something because for a considerable point of that period of that time, White was actually just straight up a pawn, and even then, it required that he had a rationalization of like what was working, what wasn't, whether that was actually worth the pawn for positional play. The C file being open is very scary for White, I believe, right now. And Black is considering trading off the double the pair of bishops. I would imagine there's discovered attacks on the queen on A3 right now with the knight moving away. Not anything that's overwhelmingly uh, problematic, I don't think, at this exact moment. With the like no discovered check, obviously, but past that, this is still this. This is coming in with a punch. Um,
I wanted to shout out to Leah, who's tuning in, a former SLU player, also joining Benjamin Bach, who also played for SLU.
Ooh,
Wow, we've got a
computer did not like that. Bishop f3 coming in now. Just a simple attack on the rook, and this is going to be a very difficult piece to hold on to. It's immediately found.
yeah, that's also a discovery with the rook. So two attackers
Yeah.
on this bishop. The rook could go to d2, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it can go to d2, but that's still like a big problem, especially because of this discovered queen attack. And we are way down on the clock if we are white right now. Wow, I did not even notice that. That is a huge problem.
Yeah, this is
If
round
there's one
one.
person I'd like to not be down on the clock against, it's somebody who's rated 3,000. 3,000! Okay, he's just letting it run out. I think he's just
No,
accepted
he's
the
he's
fact
gonna
that
play a move here. All right, bishop to d2. He's taking advantage that the knight is pinned. Rook
okay,
takes
but
though.
does that actually work? Bishop
Queen
b4?
takes.
Nope.
So it's a trade, but yeah, the rook on d1 hangs at the
Yeah.
end. So that is the first result. Speaking of being over 3,000, we have Robbie Kevlashvili, board one captain for SLU, getting the job done against Mizzou's board
Do I
four.
have to do something to bring myself to also be seeing that, or are you going to press a button that does that
Yeah,
for me?
you have to go to the games tab under watch. You should have all four.
Games tab under watch. Watch.
You see the
Uh,
four games?
no, I do not.
All right, well,
Watch. Playing now? Where would I go?
under watch.
I am under.
Yes, we do have Aryan Tari playing. You're gonna have to use the follow link that I sent you, and that should pull
I
up the four games.
I did click on said link.
All right.
It did not put me in the quote watch section. But now I'm looking at Ariantari.
That's good. He's playing against Deadeye, who I believe is Aryan Chopra. So this should be an Aryan versus Aryan battle. Which Aryan is better?
Classic. I mean, we all know the answer is Aryan is probably going to be the best. If I were to just take a wild swinging guess, I'm not going to elaborate further. I don't like putting my money on white or black, but apparently neither does the computer. It says it is dead equal until now, and now the bar is moving the slightest bit. It doesn't actually care all that much about that.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know about opening. I mean, this isn't really an open pawn, but this is kind of an outpost, and it is threatening to reconnect the pawns. I feel weird making commentary as Grandmaster Benjamin Bach watches me do so because I know that he knows that what I'm saying is complete BS, and I'm trying to convince everybody else that what I'm saying means something in my mind.
right now, you are the master of this ship, and so whatever you say goes. You are the master, and everyone watching, Bach included, will take your word for it.
Oh, I hope so. Right now, I'm looking at this diagonal. I'm not even sure if it actually does anything, but that is where my mind immediately goes. I'm looking at potentially. I mean, this knight is not looking super happy to me. I don't really know where its life goes. Maybe somewhere up this way. Okay, we got the queen active now. We're asking questions to the dark squared bishop. This could actually be something. We're looking at this pawn as well, although this is a very easy way to simply deflect that. Although the white pieces are much more happy at this point, even with this rook being very inactive. The rook is going to be coming in. The light squared knight is very quickly able to enter. Queen e8 is what the computer wants, although it's not what's played. It's not something that's breaking everything immediately outright. Queen takes e5. We could just take that pawn. That's a free pawn right now.
And it comes with a threat of checkmate. However, our rook on e1 is hanging, so we don't want to blunder that in one move.
The computer said it was actually all right to just simply go ahead and let that hang. If this and this, knight f1 is completely fine here.
Well, Chopra didn't realize that, and I think
I still couldn't tell you why, but I am going to tell you that that is what they are looking at.
probably the queen threatening mate was too strong. This is a big question mark. Blunder. Yeah, now Chopra hangs the rook with check, and he says there's no way to stop checkmate. So, yeah, if we have like rook to f7, for example, I'm expecting maybe knight f6, and there you have it, resignation.
Yeah.
So
Ouch.
Chopra takes down Aryan Tari, and that leaves us with one final game, Isak versus Viktor Gajic.
Yeah, that's easy. I mean, that's so easy. Anyone could have won this game. Definitely me included. That's a lie through my teeth if that's not exceptionally obvious. Is it just supposed to reorient me? Again, I don't really understand why.
I'm clicking on the new games. Like people are seeing my board. So when you say this diagonal, I have to do some interpretation.
Oh, okay. I'll be more clear about that.
All good.
Uh,
But yeah, three results so far. SLU with an early 2-1 lead. And it looks like SLU's going to take a 3-1 lead after this game, assuming Victor Gajic is able to hold on in this position.
we are with Goshik. Okay.
Yeah, that's a skewer and a resignation. So Victor gets a big point. The top three boards for SLU getting the job done. Mizzou only getting a point from Mikhail Antipov, their board one, against SLU's board four. So Mizzou finding themselves on their heels here after round one, SLU with a 2-point lead.
Okay. We are not looking at anything right now, just to be clear.
Correct. We're waiting for round two to start.
Hooray! Okay, excellent. So this is SLU is up.
SLU is indeed up, and we have round two starting here. We've got Antipov versus Aryan Chopra.
Okay, yeah, I see that too. There we go. Oh, the French. Come on. Boo! Boo! Big French haters in chat here. Yeah, no, thank you. Appreciated.
We got a W French in the chat, so we got.
Oh wait,
some
no, that
French...
was a Pierce. What's wrong with me? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what. Like, I just saw a pawn push one, and I was like, that's the French. My brain is shut off. I haven't eaten since like 6 a.m. and it's now 4 p.m. So I thought about getting myself a pizza and then didn't actually end up doing it. So,
well, you had the thought of a pizza, so
I had the thought of a pizza, and that's worse.
That wasn't nourishing enough, it seems. But these players are definitely well fed with their energy providing, and we've seen a couple of pawns consumed at least so far in round one.
Yeah, they might have even like gobbled them up with their bishops.
Yeah,
like I mean, if they were feeling absolutely crazy.
That would be crazy for sure.
I mean, yeah,
I wouldn't put it past
I would
the chess
say
players.
this is one of the most exciting Frenches you can have, given that the French is generally just a miserable position to play in, unless you know exactly what's going on. And even then, you're playing with a terrible white squared bishop. I hate it. I hate it. It's an opening where if you say it in my chat, you get timed out for 69 seconds. It's par for the course.
We might need to bring we might need to bring Talia back into the commentator booth. But maybe these two teams will face off again in the playoffs. So just as a reminder, this is still the regular season. Both these teams expected to make playoffs. If not, I assume they already have playoffs locked in.
Yeah, this is probably just a given for them. But
they're both tied, I guess, for first. I think
Mizzou is better by 7 points.
Tiebreak points, yeah. So
yeah.
Mizzou is currently in the lead. But I think both teams will be happy with the top 2 spot in the regular season because that will give them a bye in the first round of playoffs, which sends them directly to semifinals. So right now they're fighting for playoff seeding essentially. And
I like that pin.
Yeah, exactly. Not taking with the pawn immediately, but we want to take and preserve our pawn structure, our pawn duo there in the center. So really nice little intermezzo move here by Antipov, and he's leading this Mizzou team with the only point from round one.
One of my low IQ ideas is to simply take e4 with the d pawn, but it does not like that idea. I guess because it allows a problematic pawn breaks down the line. Or wait, no, I guess. Oh wait, whoops! It's because the knight would be hanging. Whoops. Yeah.
Well, the knight's hanging regardless.
The knight is hanging regardless, but that knight is right. That knight just came from a trade, so that doesn't matter anyhow. I'm trying to keep up with grandmasters, and it's a tough job to do.
Yeah, this match we have essentially 4 GMs for both teams. Isaac is the only player listed as an international master, but I believe he's gotten his norms. So knight drops back to connect the knights, helps lend some support. So now white has a choice, taking with either pawn or with the bishop. If you take with the bishop, black obviously will take back with the knight. And if you take with a pawn, you're double isolating your pawns. Well,
Not
maybe not
double
isolating,
isolating.
but doubling them for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I wanted
It's
to maybe look at some of the other games that we have.
sure.
Um, we have Aryan Tari versus Batsurin. Aryan coming off of a defeat in that first round, looking to get a point here against SLU's board four.
Yes.
He does have the white pieces, but it looks like Batsurin has the bishop pair. So yeah, Aryan already has castled, but Surin still has to develop a knight before they can even consider castling. Um, all things considered, though, still a very solid position for both sides.
Yeah, I prefer white here. I just like the activity of the white knight and the basically FU I'm going to go ahead and take towards the center if you give me the opportunity. Just solidifying the pawn structure. The dark squared bishop looks like it has a very great life ahead of it. And it promises some nice piece activity. I see a great okay. So did black. Black didn't like the idea of the light squared bishop going to g5, so that makes sense to me why they'd push that pawn just to say get the hell out of here before they have to cope with the fact that it's there.
Yeah, I'm thinking if there's like a knight move for white to open up the queen to h5 and give a check. But when the knight moves, maybe black's queen will come in. So
I
not
don't see a
entirely
way to
sure.
do it, but I feel like if the f3 knight could find its way to g6, it would be a very happy one.
Yeah, you would need some support over
Yeah, maybe something
h4.
like g3 knight h4, but
Yeah,
I think that might be too slow even.
black
Again,
might completely lash out with a move like g5,
g5. Yeah.
but that would be also very weakening on the king side.
It would be very weakening, but I don't necessarily know how vulnerable I think that the Black King actually happens to be here in the center. Like, is it something that's falling here? And is Black capable of castling Queenside?
Okay, Tari liked my idea of moving the knight out of the way. Now he does go for queen h5, but with the knight getting to e7, pawn can go to g6 and block that check. But Aryan seemed to be pretty happy inducing another pawn push on the king side. So black is still having to get the king out of the center, either going to develop the queen and go long, or you can go short, but I mean, you're dropping that h pawn, like that looks super weak. So I'm expecting Batsurin to go queen side.
Look, I'll begrudgingly accept any choices that he makes. They might not be the ones that I would make. But he might have a little bit of a track record that shows that he does in fact have a clue of what he's doing. So if what he says goes here.
Now, speaking of knowing what they're doing, I wanted to take a look at Robbie's position. He's up 3 minutes to one against Isaac. So, also, someone in chat correct me if I'm wrong. I've been saying Isaac, but I think it's probably Isak.
I think it's Isak too.
Either way, it's a sick name.
Robbie's 23. That's rude.
Is that, what were you expecting?
I just don't like hearing that people are my age and doing this well.
I think he's about to graduate. Very strong grandmaster, obviously, and a huge part of the SLU team. SLU has a pedigree of success, one would say, especially when you have such strong, notable alumni such as Benjamin Bach and Talia.
Such as.
Okay, Talia is saying it's Ishik, so I appreciate that. I've been Americanizing his name a little too much, probably, for anyone's preference, really. Um, so
I used to be in the elementary advanced program at my school. It's as stupid as it sounds, and the substitute teachers absolutely hated uh, any time that they had to sub in for our class specifically. Uh, Also, just want to note that Ishik is down 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. That is crazy, but
yes.
we would have like a bar of like Vaishnavi, Akila, and Ashrita were all in a row, and they got like 0 for 3 almost every single time. So like, been there, done that. We're really bad at understanding how to pronounce names in America.
So the computer is calling for bishop e3, just throwing a punch at the queen, and I think this opposite side castles game is really exciting for Robbie, obviously,
Yeah, Robbie's
because
happy here.
the semi-open files he's working with those rooks on A and C. I mean, the A file is completely open. Look at the king safety. I think this move king h2. I don't know if that was necessary. I guess the queen was opposite of it, but really goes to show just the safety and the time that Robbie has. Time in terms of like literally the clock. Ishik is less than 5 seconds.
Oh, we got a huge raid from chess.com. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. It is time for the Collegiate Chess League. We
What's
are
up?
currently watching some of the best players on the planet who also happen to be in school. So if you are around my age, I am 23 years old. Uh, this is a real copium moment for you, I'm sure, because my God, we have some real talent on the board. These are the two teams in the Collegiate Chess League so far this season. We are in week 6 that have not lost a single match against anyone. So one of these teams will be going home with their undefeated streak finally broken. So be sure to stick around for that. Thank you guys for stopping on by. I'm old as hell. Okay, sure. Yes,
So
Perona.
this is
You're gonna have to
also
join me
the
here.
rematch of last season's finals. So this is Mizzou versus SLU. It
Ouch!
looks like
Ouch!
Robbie's winning the
Ouch!
queen
Oh,
here.
ouch! That sucks so bad. Like, look, I don't know what you do if you were black here, but like,
Well,
and now the rook's falling. Oh no.
resigning is
Oh,
coming soon.
yeah, resigning is coming soon. There we go.
I was even thinking taking the bishop and getting a mate on a8 with the rook, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that would work too. I think that probably was what yeah, it likes queen takes e7 even better, but I see a free rook and I'm taking a free rook.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm switching to Tari's game. This is Aryan Tari for the Mizzou team. Also, just as a reminder, Mizzou did win the last matchup in the finals, snapping SLU's 3 in a row championship streak. So Mizzou is the defending champs, and they did win the previous matchup. However, this is a new and improved SLU
Oh
team.
God. Oh, ouch. Ouch. God, that no, no, please. Just kill me instead. I don't want to see this. Oh God, that's painful. Look, you can look at your clock. Yeah, or you can press the resign button. That like I don't even know where the mate is. I'm sure it's I mean it obviously is here in multiple different ways, but like I feel like you could trip over yourself as a 1,000 rated player at this point, even with like 46 seconds on the clock, and still find a way to get that done. Just move the knight anywhere.
Yeah, that was a really beautiful finish from Aryan Tari, getting a huge dub on the board after losing the first round. And here we see Aryan Chopra, the other Aryan from SLU, getting a draw against Antipov. So Antipov gets his first non-win of the match. But let's look at the ultimate standings currently. After 2 rounds, SLU is actually building on their lead. They were up by 2 after the first round. Now they're up by 3, 5.5 to 2.5. Only Tari getting a point in that second round for Mizzou. So SLU, with their new players, their improved roster, really taking it to Mizzou right now.
I'd just like to say, obviously, if Yale were playing in this competition, they clear, right? Like best team in the league right now. But you know, they're definitely putting up respectable numbers right now. I'm currently looking at Batsurin. I'm not sure if you're
Yep.
also yep, okay, we're on the same page. Okay, we got a Queen's Gambit or Slav kind of situation. Uh nice. This is a okay, so quiet shallop defense. We just throw words in there, and those are considered openings. Love that for us. Shout out chess. Yes, huge shout out chess moment.
I should
Hello,
I should
Emily. Welcome in.
moderate the Collegiate Chess League. Yeah, shout out to Chess for the raid, and obviously shout out to Emily for tuning in. I always appreciate seeing Emily around. This is the Mizzou vs. SLU rivalry match in Division One. As you had mentioned, both these teams are undefeated. I did want to correct you though. Yale has already played both these teams, I believe, and have lost both matches.
Yeah,
So
I don't care. They win these.
maybe not. Maybe not. We do appreciate Yale. Huge shout out to the Yale team, especially Lyndon Lee as one of their captains, the older brother of Alice Lee. Always our favorite fun fact about Yale, and They have great players with Nicholas Cheka and Arthur Guo, but their teams unfortunately are not as good as either SLU or Mizzou.
Is what they want you to believe. So when they have a huge come around from behind, it is absolutely mind blowing, which is obviously what they're gearing up for right now.
Right. Yes. The long play, some would say.
Every single time that the Collegiate Chess League has had Yale in like the broadcast, I've said I don't care. Yale wins these, and I've always been wrong, and I stand on business when I say it. I don't have any affinity for Yale. I'm just rooting for the underdog as of this season because they've been having a little bit of a rough go of it.
Yeah, I always appreciated an underdog for sure. Yale's always been like really strong, but just not as strong as these scholarship schools. But yeah, here we see Ishik versus Batsurin. This is now round 3 out of 4, and Mizzou really needs to get some points. They've only gotten one win from their top two boards so far. So Ishik and Luca on their boards 3 and 4. I'm looking at them for this Mizzou comeback.
Yeah, I think that Ishik is going to be a very like keystone here. There's a 440 point rating difference between the two players, and that's something that's very overcomable. I mean, any two players are going to be able to potentially pull one over. I don't mean to brag or nothing, but just yesterday I played a game where I won 12 points for beating somebody that was significantly higher rated than me. I felt great. So like it can come from anywhere at any time, right? But uh, the times where you have the close ratings is when you're going to have the most chance because unlike chess.com where it's like, okay, we're plus or minus 8 points, it's like, no, you get either you win or you lose, and that counts for your entire team. Barona, yes, even you could beat me. Even you.
Yeah, this is a really big point for Ishik because Batsurin is actually the only SLU player that hasn't gotten a single point yet. He is the board 4 and he's lost both games so far. And
Wow,
similarly,
that actually does speak volumes, I think.
Batsurin is going to try his best to get a point on the board here in round 3. So this is a big matchup for sure. But I wanted to take a look at Aryan Tari versus Robbie Kevlishvili. This is a huge matchup. Robbie being the captain and board 1 for SLU. Aryan, a player that doesn't really need introduction. But we see Aryan's going after h6 with the Queen Bishop battery. This is an attack against a slightly weakened king. We see some of these pawns have been pushed or even lost. And I really like Aryan's position here.
I was actually looking at the wrong Aryan, so give me a second to acquaint myself with what I should be watching.
All good. Yeah, Tari, he's a fan favorite for sure. And Robbie has 2 out of 2 points. Same with Victor Gajic, actually. The boards 1 and 2 from SLU. Perfect so far against the bottom two boards from Mizzou. But let's see how they do against the top two boards, starting with this game here with Aryan Tari.
Yeah, Aryan Tari is looking very healthy here. This is a tough position for Robbie to be in. The king side is very shattered. And I think that this is a very, like, not necessarily simple. There are plenty of ways that you can make this a bad news bears situation for yourself, obviously. But you want to remove the minor pieces in front of the king. You want to tear everything open and make it so that the vulnerabilities are felt. And of course, you want to get the pieces that you do not already have in the game active and into the game, which is why we play Rook E1 right here. I see Queen G5 eventually. I see the knight potentially coming and attacking the E4 square to because now there are two pieces attacking the pawn on e4, and the a rook even has a very easy way of entering the game with rook a3.
Yeah, and I just wanted to point out just this beautiful monster knight on e5. This
Yeah, that's a
is
rough one to have to cope with because there is no easy way to oust it. Even you have to like push a pawn to then have the privilege of moving the knight to a square where you can make a trade that's of equal value technically.
yeah,
But
this is
like
a
at this point, you might
textbook
even
outpost.
yeah, this is like this is what when they say, "Hey, you should get outposts," and you don't know what they're talking about, they're pointing at this game. Although it is odd to me that here he chooses, you know what? I don't even need the outpost. I'm fine. We have a healthier square for the knight on g4. That is interesting to me. I'm thinking that they're going for a battery, not quite a Alakine's gun situation since the queen is in the middle, but like I could see a full battery going for the second e pawn, and this is going to be what we call in the industry a danger zone. We call it that.
Yeah, shout out to Kenny Lock, Archer
Oh yeah, oh
reference.
yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so anyways,
I was like, is somebody in the chat? No, no. I forgot what I literally just said.
Okay. Um, all right. Well, it looks like I don't see what the plan is with Queen G3, but we're gonna let Ariantari cook a little bit here.
I
Uh,
see potentially rook takes, and then like the queen has a life on C7. Like I think it's trying to say you move the rook and then I have ability to
oh,
enter.
he's eyeing Queen E5.
E5?
Yes, because if the rook took on D4, Queen E5 was a fork. So here
Oh, that's rough.
we see an exchange traded.
Ooh,
Yeah, so both
that's
knights
what
were
we call getting
grabbed.
punched in the mouth.
Uh, I'm trying to
This is the
figure.
danger zone of which we
I
speak.
think the problem is the knight's getting to F. Something's getting to F.
Knight C7. Knight C7.
Knight C7, and then
You got Knight C7. Okay,
no,
doesn't
he's
play that, but like I was
yeah. Both
there.
knights were hanging. But the problem is the knight is also defending the rook. The rook is also hanging. So
Oh
Robbie
wow.
resigns
Just
here.
outright. Just outright. That is a very important point right now. Yeah. So for all of my players who are below the rating of 1300 who may or may not be watching at this exact point in time, if you are not prioritizing your king's safety, I know that your opponent might not be a grandmaster and know how to take advantage of it, but they might trip over themselves and find themselves in a very similar position. You absolutely need to prioritize keeping your king as safe as possible.
So Aryan gets the first point of that round, a big point for Mizzou. But I'm looking at now Antipov versus Victor Gajic, and it looks like you were mentioning king safety is a really important issue. Well, neither king here has castled, but the white king in particular is looking awfully weak with the queen just beyond the door of these isolated doubled pawns here on the c file. Uh,
Yeah, I initially didn't actually hate that, and now the more that I look at it, the more I realize like a pawn push could be a very difficult thing from the B pawn to like cope with. That could be a big problem very quickly. Antipov is down on the clock. That is not something that Mizzou wants to be coping with. On top of the fact that who is this player? This is Gazik.
yes,
Is it
Victor.
Gazik? Zik?
Maybe one of our more experienced commentators in the chat could let us know.
Bach, help!
uh, yeah, I just oh wow, rook sacrifice, looking to I don't even know what are you trying to. Oh, the bishop. If the king takes, you're gonna have maybe a very devastating check on e3. But the computer hates this. Actually, it just says king takes is totally fine.
Yeah, just run in with your king. You're fine. Just go.
Antipov has 6 seconds, so Victor Gajic, he's going to use his
This
2 minute
game is
advantage
stupid.
to
Why do we
see
play this?
if it's a bluff.
Oh man, there are 2 minutes for him to be like, wait a second, that isn't anything. I can just run my king to e6 like the Chad he is.
And he's done it. He takes queen
He
check,
did do it.
king
That's rough.
f5. He's calling out
like,
Antipov's bluff.
nice catch. That was like a like that was the equivalent of poker in chess. That was like, do you understand that what I'm saying is actually nothing?
He's threatening to win the rook here with g4 check. So the rook leaves the diagonal, and now this king is totally safe.
Yeah, that's an infuriating thing to see, frankly. Like
Wow.
if
just
you're
b4.
white here, that's like the most infuriating. Like you're telling me
No
my
more
queen
checks.
can do nothing
Wow.
here? Nothing here.
Resigns, and Victor Gajic is 3 out of 3 against this Mizzou team.
I would be pissed. I would be pissed. I would be so pissed. Like you're telling me that brilliant rook stack wasn't brilliant. I made a piece of content for the Collegiate Chess League Instagram page. If you're not following that, by the way, guys, I put in some good work there. Please go ahead and check it out. But there was a Jules last week literally said something to the effect of, And the sacrifice always gets a brilliant. I was like, oh, does it? And like pointed out just how infrequently like the sacrifice ever actually works. But that is a golden example of like, yeah, no, we thought we were doing something and it just didn't actually land. That was a prime example of intuition and it not quite working out in your favor.
Okay, Luca got a huge point against Aryan Chopra for the Mizzou team. He brings the match back within two, and this last game looks pretty even.
I mean, neither of these teams are looking to go down without a fight, so they're going to be pulling their own weight if they're capable of doing it.
This is
And let
such
me
a
tell
big
you
game.
something about them. Let me tell you about them. They are going to do it because they are capable.
Ishik is low on time, less than 15 seconds, and this is such a huge game because a loss is going to be huge for either team. SLU could go up to 7.5, meaning they're only 1 point away from winning the match, and 4 games remaining in the fourth round. That would look really good for them. We see a slight eval swing in Ishik's favor, and in low time, either side could make a huge blunder here. Ishik's now technically up a pawn. There goes the F pawn. Black has a passed B pawn. Can they do anything with it?
No.
Bishop's hit by the rook. Less than 15 seconds now for Batsurin as well. If Ishik can pull this off for Mizzou, he brings it back within one. We see a trade. It's just rooks, bishops, and pawns. Less than 10 seconds for both sides.
Yeah, no, this is easy. Just win. Just win. It's just that easy.
Wow, another pawn for Ishik. Can he convert this pawn advantage, or is it going to be a draw? 3, 2.
Oh, boy.
He grabs another pawn. White's going to scoop up some of theirs. And yeah, Black has double isolated pawns, but they've got the extra D pawn. Is it enough, though?
It's really not clear.
Oh, but there it goes. So now it's even in material, but actually Black has the worst structure.
Yeah, this is very quickly turned into something that actually, I mean, if either team can even win this may well just be a draw.
Yeah, it's
But
saying it's a dead even draw, zeros across the board, but again, a blunder could spell disaster.
a blunder typically does spell disaster. It's one of the only things it typically does spell.
Yeah, we see the king has been let out. It was kind of locked in on the H file, but there's really no way to make progress.
Wow. Um, Look, you give me this position, we're walking away with a loss, but these players might actually be able to do something.
King
And
back to
that's
f6. Yeah, they're finding a draw here. There it is. So a big draw, and SLU now gets up to 7 points, and that is Batsurin's first time getting on the scoreboard, as well as Ishik, actually.
yeah, both of these players have yet to show up for their team. Gajic is absolutely killing it right now with 3 points of his own. He has won every game he's played.
Yeah, he's been
He
absolutely
is half of
flawless.
SLU's points right now. And again, in terms of tiebreak points before this game, SLU was actually SLU was not in first. It was Mizzou. So they're like actually showing up here.
Yeah, Viktor Gajic was a huge pickup in the offseason for SLU, and I love just saying that offseason as in the time between fall semester and spring semester.
Classic moment.
But yeah, Gajic was a transfer from UT Rio Grande. So
And they're
big.
pissed. They hate that.
This is definitely a big loss for UT Rio Grande. They definitely were doing better in the regular season last season. And I think Victor is definitely a significant part of that. So he does have 3 out of SLU's 7 points. Not quite half, but very close to it. Might as well be.
Uh, this looks. I mean, I'm sure this is still theory for anybody. Oh no, we got a Queen's Indian Defense Spassky system. Sag. That's some Sag.
Yeah. Shout out to Spassky.
Shout out
Rest,
Spassky if he can hear us.
well, his spirit definitely lives on in the chess world. He's made
Oh,
a
it'll live
huge
forever.
impact and definitely has inspired many chess fans. The impact you can't really even quantify. But we do have here the fourth and potentially final round, unless Mizzou can give SLU a taste of their own medicine back from round one. They need a 3-1 score of their own to tie it up and force overtime.
Classic, easy stuff. Everybody does it. You just win 4 games. What? It's hard. It's just hard. You have a difficulty doing that. Just win 4 games.
They just
No,
need 3 points, so they don't even. If they do sweep, they would win. They also could win with 3.5 out of 4 points, but at least they need three. They can only afford one loss or two draws, but nothing more than that. Otherwise, SLU is going to take the dub home.
Ejik needs to pull up right now. Ejik absolutely needs to pull up right now if he wants to be able to keep the undefeated streak for this team. It's not even like a like suggestion thing. It is a mandatory show up or perish.
Yeah, that might actually be the biggest mismatch of this entire round. Ishik is the lowest rated player. Um,
And who's he playing right now?
well, actually, he's not lower rated than Luca, but he's playing against Aryan Chopra, who is 29-19. But maybe we keep an eye actually on the top boards. I think Robbie
This is
versus
looking good all of a
Antipov.
sudden for White. I mean, there's some pretty crushing pressure coming down on the H pawn.
Yeah, I was definitely liking
Bishop
Luca's
A6 now.
position.
Bishop A6. Wow. 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 What a move.
Yeah, just
What a
leaving the bishop
deflection.
hanging in theory, but no.
You're gonna pick up the knight if they don't take the knight instead, and if they do take the knight, that they take back with the pawn. Pawn takes e5, and then you have even more pressure put on that knight on the f6 square. That is undoubtedly a brilliant move.
Yeah, Luca is definitely winning this game. This is just an awesome attack on the king side,
That is
and
an important point for Mizzou right now, so that is huge.
yeah, this is not Batsurin's best day, half point, but he does find the best defense here, h6, causing some issues, but simply just queen takes h6, or even bishop takes h6, should be more than good enough
In other
for
words,
Luca.
don't hang the piece.
Yeah, yeah, Luca's also got a huge time advantage as well. So everything's pointing good here for Luca and the Mizzou team. That should bring them back within one, but they're gonna still need some significant points on the remaining board. So I wanted to take a look at Robbie versus Antipov and
Sure.
see how they're doing here. Robbie's got the white pieces. Robbie's also the highest rated player in this match. This is two 3,000s going at it. This is pretty much the best that it gets.
It should be noted, of course, that 3,000 is the rating that chess.com starts you off at, and you have to prove that you're less than that, but it's still like an incredibly high rating. That's a lie just through my teeth, by the way. This is an incredibly like high rated game. Uh, I wonder what like do we? I just out of curiosity, I'm gonna take a quick look, see what 3,000 rating, like what how many players have 3,000 rating or higher, because I know that we have that stat. Uh, it's crazy how much they know and how well they execute it. They're playing for Blitz. This is Blitz, so let's take a quick look. That would be globally.
Yeah, and in the
There
meantime,
are less than 300, or there are less than 400 players that have the ability to say that they have a rating higher than 300, and we have two of them right here.
that is still quite a lot.
300, do you think is a lot?
That's a lot of people over three. Like that's
I mean, that's a lot compared to like people over 3,400, but like wow, wow. You go down, you go up to
oh,
3,100. You have 78 players total.
Robbie had a move there that he missed. The move was knight to e5 or c5. That's brutal.
Why is that good?
It's a discovery on the rook,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry. I was looking at the board from where it was. I was like,
I st
that just is moving a knight
oh,
to
the
be
knight's
taken.
yeah, opportunity missed from Robbie at tactic. He's been playing really quickly. We'll see if that comes back to haunt him because Antipov is still very much in this game.
This is tough. This is tough. That could have been very big to swing things, and Antipov was effectively given a second life on that game.
Yeah, Luca did finish his game with a win, so Batsurin finishes the day with a half point. Unless it goes to overtime, maybe he can redeem himself there. But Luca, after starting 0 for 2 against the top two boards from SLU, finishes with 2 out of 4, taking down the bottom two boards from SLU. So now the rest is up to his teammates. He's brought it back within 1. Can the remaining 3 boards finish the job?
Do you have the evals currently like live? Can you see all of them?
Not all of them, no.
Okay. I was just gonna ask, are there any boards that are currently like looking
Well,
definitive?
yeah, let's take a look at Aryan Tari versus Victor Gajic. And
There are pickles in my truck. This is the collegiate chess league where we have the best and worst chess players of all time that are currently in school playing against one another for both money and glory. And currently we are seeing the 2 undefeated teams in the Division 1 group battling it out. It's looking like a win for SLU, but there definitely is the capacity
oh my
for them to hold
goodness,
out.
Victor Gajic. I mean, what a player! He's about to win against Aryan Tari. He's just made a really strong move, c5, and he's trying to create a passed pawn on the queen side. And if that's the case, he's gonna have a perfect sweep 4-0 against this Mizzou team.
Which again, undefeated. Like, not like they haven't lost any individual games, but they certainly haven't lost. They haven't lost 4 to any one person. I don't think at this point. I might be lying, and maybe they have, but
Ishik and Aryan Chopra drew their game, which brings SLU within a point of winning this match. They're up to 7.5. Any full point, regardless of where they get it from, is gonna be enough to take down the defending champions.
is there a way for them to save this? Like I guess that's just
Well,
the
I
question.
mean, right now my eyes are glued on Tari's position. He's gonna have to pull off a miracle if his team is gonna either force overtime or win this game at all.
Or Gajic is going to have to pull off a mouse slip, which is much easier to have happen. It's not likely, but it's much easier.
And look at Tari's clock. It is just slipping through his fingers. He's now under a minute, and this is just looking hopeless.
The pawn structure on the queen side is just really tough to cope with.
He's going after this d4 pawn. How do you save it?
Asked nicely.
Yeah, and look at the B and C pawns for white. Those are just not going to be stoppable. This is going to be the game right here.
Yeah, it's looking that way.
Really quick recap on Robbie versus Antipov's game. And it looks like it's pretty drawn. It's just a rook and pawn in game, and we all love how those tend to go.
The most fun thing you can do in chess is a rook and pawn endgame.
Yeah, and a draw also would be good for SLU anyways, because that gets them to 8 points. And yeah, SLU, they just need 2 draws or a full point in one of the games. And yeah, I think Aryan's pretty close to resigning here.
As one does or something.
Or flagging, whichever comes faster.
Yeah, this is rough.
I mean, just
I always root
C7.
for whichever team is not winning.
C7 does allow bishop to B7, trying to prevent that for just one extra move. And now bishop to E4. If the bishop goes back to C8, then we can see rook to D8. And
Yeah.
this is an unstoppable C pawn. 2 seconds, 1 second. Does he flag? There it is. It paused. He's at 0.1 second. I actually don't see the flag.
Yeah, so I don't think he did lose. In fact, let's just say he won this. Let's
This
go to
is
overtime.
Schrodinger's chess clock here.
This is perfect. Great.
Did the result populate for you, or
No, moves are still happening around.
Oh, you see the moves?
Yeah, they're jumping around. The king is now on D6.
Jesus, it just broke for me. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Currently, we have the rook on C8. Oh, okay. The pawn has fallen, but the bishop has also fallen.
I
not what
just
you.
I just lost that game. Meanwhile, though, Antipov has actually somehow turned a rook and pawn endgame into a winning position.
That's nice of him.
Can you believe it? So
I can.
there's hope left for Mizzou if Aryan can somehow not lose. You think there's a
Yeah.
chance?
Not looking super likely. I'm keeping an eye on this game just to be aware of it, I guess. But it is looking what I would just describe as grim, meek.
Okay, that game is
Oof.
just not pulling up for me as hard as I might.
Yeah. Yeah. That's game. Um is wait, Chess Eng? What's Chess Eng?
That is the account that I'm using.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that you had
Okay,
another one.
I pulled up the game. This is
Zach,
for
don't eat your hair. I'll do what I damn well please, Fluffy.
broadcast. Okay. Oh my God, Aryan Tari has 2.1 seconds. That means he made the move with literal last amount of time he could, zero point 0.1 seconds on the clock.
No, I don't think he ever actually was down to that point.
I see him at 3.3 right now.
Yeah, this is looking
Two,
rough.
1, 2.9 seconds. I mean, props to him for lasting this long. I thought he was gonna flag or resign moves ago.
I think he knew what the stakes were.
He's trying his hardest, and
Yeah.
there's the resignation. And with that, SLU gets the job done against the defending
SLU
champions.
gets the job done. Gajic gets the job done. I mean, it
Gajic
was a
swept 4-0.
I like take Gajic off this team. What do they have?
Gajic has to be the biggest offseason pickup that we've seen in the Collegiate Chess League history.
That was crazy. Like, I mean, like literally, if he didn't if he did anything less than what he did, the that Mizzou would have kept winning. Would have kept their streak. It's literally just Gajic. If he did anything less than perfect, it would have gone to Mizzou.
Yeah, and that is the clutch performance that it took to take down the defending champs.
You know, some people are really quite good at this game.
Yeah, Gajik being one of them for sure. And here we see Antipov has wiggled his king around to safety, and now Black is gonna bring home one of these two pawns, or maybe even both pawns. Rook F2, and I mean, what can you go? Rook A3, try to pin the E pawn, but just H2 check looks pretty good to me. He's hoping for stalemate. That's not even stalemate. You grab the pawn and there's mate. So Antipov finishes. He gets 2.5 out of 4, but it's not
Wow.
enough. Mizzou lost this match by 1 point. Congratulations to SLU, the only undefeated team remaining left in the Collegiate Chess League's top division. But the good news for Mizzou is this is not the end of the story. It's only regular season. So they will still have a chance of winning and defending their title in the playoffs.
Hmm?
Well, Zach, this was a awesome match to watch, as close as it gets, really, without going to overtime. But congratulations once again to SLU taking down the defending champs, handing Mizzou their first loss since last season, their first
Can I
loss
do
of this season.
can I do a quick impression of Gajic just now?
Of course.
Okay, here it goes. This is Gajic. And this deodorant stick is an L. And he goes like this. Oh, I think that you left this behind. Do you mind taking it? Can you hold this for me? Like unbelievable work. Unbelievable work.
Yeah,
He
served him up
showed
an
up in a
L.
major way.
God,
Unbelievable stuff. I think that was great. That was really, really great. I mean,
awesome.
I'm mad because I don't like seeing anybody win that much. But like, you had to hand it to him where it belongs to be handed. How many points did he gain this set? Because of
Oh,
course
I
these
don't
are all
know.
rated. Wow, he hasn't lost it. Whoa, whoa! Go to his profile right now. He has not lost a game in the entirety of his like recent history.
He's just the winner.
He's drawn one game and won every other game he's played. That's crazy.
Yeah, and Blitz, it's been a while since he's lost for sure.
I could do that if I wanted to. I just don't really feel like it.
Yeah, it looks like he drew against teammate Elliot, uh, who I know his name is not Elliot, but he does stream by his username Elliot. But okay. Anyways, Zach, it's been an absolute honor and a pleasure. I really appreciate you commentating. And to all our viewers and fans tuning in, thank you for being here and for watching. And be sure to tune in tomorrow. We have the official broadcast back with some exciting matches. We have Rice University taking on University of Illinois in Division 2, followed by a Division 13 match, in-state rivalry, University of Arizona versus Arizona State. So you're either rooting for the Wildcats or the Sun Devils. Let us know. But in the meantime, we will see you all then. Thanks, everyone. And yeah, have a good rest of your day.
All right. Are we rating out? What's happening?
Yeah, stick around for the raid. Thanks, Emily. Yeah, Emily, are you going to go live so we can raid you? Or are we going to have to find some other channel?
I was thinking about continuing to go live.
I can raid you and you can just stream.
I think let me do that. Sounds like a great idea.
I'm gonna take you off restream and then
Cool.
you can just start your stream and
Perfect.
we'll raid you. So
All right.
party continues over on Zach's channel. So shout out to Zach and yeah, thanks everyone. Take care.
Hooray.